अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यम् ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम् जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि एषा ते विहिता साङ्ख्ये एषा ते विहिता साङ्ख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य जायते महतो भयात्. See, incentive for any action, incentive for an action can be many folds. Incentive for action, for doing your duty, can be manifold. That is, in the case of Arjuna, removing the disincentive itself can be an inspirer towards. Arjuna's one of the disincentive for fighting the battle was, oh, I have to kill Bhishma Drona. I have to kill Bhishma Drona is the problem. It was a kind of it was a thought that was deterring him from going ahead. It is a big setback. Attachment to Bhishma Drona was coming in the way of doing the duty. Krishna removed it. Hey, what are you talking about attachment? Duty is more important than attachment. And he also said, hey, doing your duty is more important than your attachment. The second thing is the Bhishma Drona, you think you are going to kill them. They don't die. Nobody dies. Fundamentally, every living being maintains his existence. Itna bhola koi nahi. Itna bhola koi nahi. Nobody dies. Everybody just leaves the form and everybody is smart enough to renew the form. When you leave the old house and go to a new house, you are not called Bechara. Bechara purana ghar chhod diya, Bechara naya ghar ko chale gaya. Do you ever say Bechara? You become envious. Pata nahi main kab hamara Amburani ghar kab chhod ke naya ghar jaye. Therefore, when a person dies and takes a new form, it is a matter of envy, I am telling you. Yes. Fundamentally talking. I am talking very fundamental. There is a huge distance between talking from topical point of view and talking fundamental. From the material point of view, talking from the material world point of view is different from talking from the spirituality, the observer point of view. And therefore, leaving the old and putting on the new is a matter for envy, it is not a matter for grief. So Krishna explained to Arjuna, hey, if Bhishma goes, he doesn't lose existence, it is a change of renewing the form. It is again, you see, this Bhagavan also knows, Bhagavan knows the conjuice trait of human beings. Adi. Because a person, supposing you like a form, and you don't want to leave the form even if it is 112, 125, 155, because you have been in love with the form, you don't want to leave the form. Bhagavan says, no, it should be mandatory, you have to leave. Once the form becomes really something unfit for existence, it can't sustain you. When the form can't sustain you, then you better change the form. In fact, this is what throughout life we are doing. Whenever some place is unfit, we change the place. When the house is unfit to live, we change the house. In fact, even the person you are unfit, somebody is unfit to live with, you change the person. In fact, we keep changing the objects. We can change this form also. Change the form. In fact, if you look at it very objectively, the soul can change the form. So Krishna said, hey, don't allow your attachments to come in the way of your duty, because duty is more important than attachments make you. Attachments are okay, but not as a substitute for duty. If attachments come in the way of duty, then they are not good. They are not good. Attachments are not good. Attachment should create in you fire, interest for duty. They should, encourage you towards duties. Then it is all right. Attachments are good if they don't come in the way of duties. But your attachment to Bhishma and Drona seem to be coming in the way of your duty. Therefore, don't allow them. Number one, as regards the fear of death, you don't have to fear the death because there is no death. He removed that hurdle also. Clear? Then, Bhagavan also talked about, hey, life is nothing but manifestation and death is becoming unmanifest, like a tree. When the seed becomes a tree, that is called a life. When the tree culminates in a seed, that is called unmanifest. See, tree becomes a seed. Tree becomes unmanifest in a seed. Are you able to follow? The tree becomes unmanifest in a seed. And the seed again becomes manifest as a tree. And the tree again remains unmanifest in the seed. This is how the trend is. And we have to accept the trend. And this is a choiceless trend anyway. Therefore, here Bhagavan said, so he went on removing one hurdle after another which stood in the way of doing duties. And now, If nothing is working, sometimes nothing seems to work. And Arjuna is a Kshatriya. Not only Kshatriya, every human being has a weakness. Aram se sunna. Every human being has a weakness. And that weakness is, not only that weakness, every human being has something, a sensitive quality. Everybody has a sensitive quality. That sensitive quality is, you can take pleasures in your stride, pains in your stride, gains in your stride, losses in your stride, calamities in your stride. You can take anything in your stride, but you can't take insult in your stride. Understand? Even if you have lived with a person for 75 years, but then if that person insults you, says anything very insultingly, you don't mind breaking off. Nobody wants to be insult is. If you want to make somebody, if you want to put fire in somebody, if you want to put anger in somebody, insult him. Are you able to follow? Insult him. And there are so many ways of insulting. That is a different matter. Just insult a person. Can you take it? I tell you, you can simply murder a person. Violence comes. Violence springs from insult. Insult. It's not easy. If somebody talks to you in a demeaning manner, you don't like it, you feel like simply pouncing on the person and then hitting him on the head with all your force collected from paneer ka parathe. You want to use the force of parathas and pinnis and paneers, everything, with experiment all your Punjabi nutrition, one blow, finish him off. What I am saying, is it true or false? True. Insult you can't take. Everything else you can take. You can take in good humor. But insult can't be taken in good humor, please. Therefore, if you have to have the best of the day, when you talk to people, talk to them politely. Never talk to people insultingly. Never talk to people insultingly. Never put down the other person. Because even if he is a worker, if you talk to him insultingly, he is fuming inside. He may not say anything because it's a matter of survival. And if you say the same thing to a person who is not your servant, he will simply, hey Rama, he will take out his, take out his gun. Therefore, in order to have a peaceful day, one of the methods by which we can enjoy the peaceful day is talk to people politely, nicely, respectfully. Respectfully talk to them. Don't talk to them insultingly, because that can create a problem. Because man can take all calamities but not insult. Remember this statement. We can take all tragedies in our stride, all difficult. Like you see, I'll give you an example. A housewife doesn't mind working hard the whole day. If she has to get up at 4 o'clock and scrub the floor, she doesn't mind. A housewife in a poor family, a housewife in a middle class family has to work hard to maintain the family. She doesn't mind. In fact, that is what really, we are all from villages anyway. And all the people at home, they used to get up in the morning and look after the household. And I don't think really they feel sad that they have to work hard. Hard work is good for health. Every villager knows it. Every Indian knows it. Hard work, we don't mind. But after all the hard work, if somebody tells you, says something insultingly, then you can't take. I don't mind working hard the whole day, but I can't take one insulting word. Are you able to follow? I can't take one insulting word. And Krishna knows this very well. And Krishna wants to work on the sentiment of Arjuna. And he says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield, you know what people will say? You are a coward. And you ran away in fright. All those people who looked upon you as a great warrior will themselves talk light of you. In fact, it becomes an excuse for them to spread the word round the world of you are indeed a coward. And when people really look down upon you, is it not insulting? What is insulting? Being looked down upon. It is not even just somebody's anger can insult me. Somebody's anger cannot insult me. But if you look down upon me, then look, you are inferior, I am superior. Hey, that will set the whole world on fire. If the blacks are told you are inferior and the whites tell themselves we are superior, that would set America on fire. Today, whole world is on fire. Do you know why? My religion is superior and your religion is inferior. I am telling you. Men calling themselves superior and calling women inferior. Why many houses are just, breaking down? This syndrome of looking at oneself superior and the other inferior. I say we are all really what we call complementary to one another. That's a different thought. That we are all complementary to one another is a different thought. Whereas to say that I am superior and you are inferior, that's not acceptable. Therefore, if Kauravas are going to tell Arjuna, you are a coward, you are inferior. Avachyavadamscha. Now see. In fact, Arjuna is going to fight the battle, is going to fight the war only when he thought, my God, if I did not fight the war, what will the world think? What will the posterity think of me? Will they judge that I was compassionate? Or will they judge that I was a weakling? Because public opinion can be what we call, it can be manipulated. Public opinion can always be manipulated, like TVs, it can all be being manipulated. Public doesn't have its own opinion, please understand. Public has no opinion of its own. Whatever they see on TV, that becomes their opinion. Whatever their leader says, that is their opinion. अपना दिमाग हाई नहीं है. अपना दिमाग नहीं है. Public has no opinion of its own. It can always be manipulated. And Duryodhana will see to it that the whole world talks light of you, talks about you as a coward. Therefore the whole world, therefore are you going to take that risk, Arjuna? Krishna is playing on that particular trait, insult. It would be insulting to run away from Bhagavad. And they would, like even in our day-to-day life, is not goodness interpreted as weakness? Is not goodness interpreted as weakness? It is interpreted as weakness. It should not be interpreted. That is a different matter. But it is interpreted. When you are being good to somebody, you are being nice to sometimes your servants, you are being very nice and you are being very kind. They think you are weak. And sometimes they may not even do their duty. Mataji बहुत अच्छा है. माताजी बहुत अच्छा है इसलिए कुछ काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये भी, this is another extreme. This is another extreme, really. I tell you, if the employer can exploit, if the employers can exploit the employees, then the employees also can exploit the employer. ऐसा नहीं कि ऐसा बोला है. Any individual can exploit, given an opportunity. Therefore, what I am telling is, somehow or other in this world, not only here in this creation, sometimes goodness is interpreted as weakness. But there are always people who appreciate goodness and goodness. And also anyway, now I am going to conclude it. Just continue that thought. Goodness can be generally interpreted as weakness. But there are also people who interpret goodness as goodness is very good. Those who admire, those who appreciate, those who adore goodness in others, they are also wonderful people. But anyway, you should be good. Not for being appreciated by others. Not for others' admiration. You should be good because you have value for being good. You should be good because you have value for being good. If others think it is your weakness, then it is not your weakness, it is their weakness. Is it not? Interpreting goodness as weakness is the weakness of the interpreter. Interpreting goodness as weakness is the interpreter's weakness. Let him, who cares? Therefore, you should be able to be good without anxiety. Sometimes what happens, you are good, but you are anxious, patani, ye log. Whether people appreciate what I am doing. Whether people appreciate my goodness or not, there is always anxiety. Why should you be good and suffer anxiety? I don't understand. Why should we be good and also suffer anxiety? In fact, our goodness becomes complete when we are good without anxiety. Our goodness is complete. We are genuinely good when we are good without anxiety for admiration, anxiety for accolades. We are free from anxiety for stuti, prashansa. Great. Are able to follow. But somehow or other people interpret goodness as weakness. In the same manner, Arjuna, even though you leave the battlefield out of compassion for your enemy, people are going to interpret your compassion for weakness. Is it good? All right, can you really go away out of compassion? Yes, you should leave the battlefield out of compassion, not worry about what others think. Why should you? Because it is your duty. When you are supposed to fight, you are not supposed to be compassionate. You are not supposed to be compassionate to the wrong people. Because a Kshatriya should not have compassion. A Kshatriya should always work for justice, dharma, justice. Like like a Supreme Court judge, what should he exhibit? What should he show to the people? Compassion or justice? He should do justice to the nation. He should do justice to the people. Compassion is subjective. Maybe it is relevant at some places. Compassion is relevant not at every emotion is not warranted in every situation. Different emotions are welcome in different situations. Not really, compassion welling up in your heart when you have to fight your enemies. What is the use of compassion when you are faced with it? Even if you have compassion and you want to go where the other person will not allow you, he will simply kill you. Are you able to follow? Compassion is of no. Understand? It's a misplaced emotion. Compassion in front of enemy, in the battlefield. Compassion in the battlefield doesn't work. You have to simply do your duty, whatever is that duty. Therefore here Krishna is saying, avachyavadam. Avachyavada means unspeakable language. When somebody uses the language against you, the language that is unspeakable, you can't take it. And they are going to use that unspeakable language. Avachya. Vachya means speakable, unspeakable language. Means what? Wrong language they are going to use. Bahun, many kinds of unspeakable language. Vadishanti, they will talk. The posterity will think of you, will judge you in unspeakable language. The posterity will think of you in unspeakable language. Tava, your, ahita. Ahita means ill wisher, means enemies. Your enemies are going to publicize, your enemies are going to tell the world that you were not compassionate. It is not because you were compassionate that you left. It is not because you were attached to the Bhishma Drona that you left, but because you left because you were scared of Karna, you were scared of Drona, you were scared of Duryodhana, etc., etc. Because generally, now just stop here. In day-to-day life, we generally, the spontaneous conclusions that we arrive at about the people are always negative conclusions. Always negative conclusions. Even if a rumor is spread, so and so person has committed a murder, it happened to be a rumor, you immediately say, must have. Must have. It should be put behind bars. We always, we want excuses to make negative conclusions about others. Because in entertaining negative conclusions about others, we feel a pedestal below us. You understand, We feel you are better. My tikum. Therefore, in order to feel good about oneself, I must entertain negative conclusions about others. जितना होता है उतना अच्छा है. ये दुनिया में सब खराब है. Elevates my pedestal. Understand? Elevates my pedestal. मैं बहुत अच्छा. And therefore, the posterity will always think of you, Arjuna, in negative terms, not in positive terms. Therefore, instead of giving room to the people to talk, to think of you like that, it is better that you do your duty. People will appreciate. A man who fights for dharma and dies is better appreciated than the one who turns away from his duty. Who turns his back on his duty is never appreciated. Never appreciate. In fact, in this world, the one who is most disliked is the one who turns his back on his duty. जो अपनी ड्यूटी नहीं करता है, nobody likes him. Nobody likes. Nobody likes a person who doesn't do his duty. Because duty is what sustains us, sustains the society, sustains the family, sustains the whole creation. Suppose the sun fails to do its duty, the whole can't sustain. In fact, in this world, there is nothing that doesn't do its duty. All seasons do their duty. Sun does its duty. The moon does its duty. Everything. Even earthquakes do their duties once in a while. Floods do their duties once in a while. That means nature is all the time doing its duty. Therefore, I should do my duty. Whatever I am supposed to do, just let me do it. Avachya vadamshya bahun vadishyanti davahitaha nindantaha tava samarthyam. Again see what he is touching. He is touching a very sensitive emotion. Tava samarthyam, your valor. Nindantaha, people will cast doubts on your valor. They call your valor into doubt. That's terrible. Calling your valor. Your valor, your glory, your might, your what we call your knowledge of archery, your knowledge in warfare is well known. When your knowledge in warfare is well known, and to call that knowledge into doubt, to question, definitely cannot be tolerated. You will be the worst loser. Therefore, Nindantaha tava samarthyam tato dukkataram nukim. What is more painful than calling your valor into doubt? Arjuna, after all, was not as great as he was looked upon. It is nothing great. It is an insult. In fact, whenever somebody casts doubts on your talent, it is an insult. You see. Especially if somebody says you don't have great emotions, you can take it. But if somebody says you are not talented, I'm telling you, this is terrible. Samarthyam. You are not talented. You are not talented cannot be taken. You are a waster of money. It doesn't disturb. ठीक है. I waste money. What do you lose? कोई बात नहीं. ये तो हमारा बाप का पैसा है. In this manner, one says, I don't think really it disturbs a person. If you call a person even a miser, I don't think. He will say, मैं तो बाल बच्चे वाला हूँ, I have to be a कंजूस. You describe a person in any language, he can take it. But if you cast doubt on his talent, it is devastation. It is devastation. He is in spirit devastated. He is gone. He is gone. Therefore, Krishna says, Arjuna, posterity will cast doubt on your talent, tava samarthyam, talent. Doubting others' talent is not easy. In fact, if you want to create and if you want to make the other person furious, then you are not talented. Oh my God. You have no talent. It is not acceptable. And therefore, Krishna uses that. He touches that. Nindantastav samarthyam tato dukkataram nukim. I mean, simple. What can be more painful than others doubting your talent? Are you able to follow? Very big thing. You can say anything to a person, is all right, but if you doubt your talent, that is insulting. That is insulting. In fact, anything insulting is very painful. You can't take. Therefore, say anything to the person, but don't say those things which are insulting, demeaning. Always differentiate between admonitions and demeanings. You can admonish a person. It is always, in fact, there are sometimes people are grateful to you for admonishing them, putting them on the right track. But advising never includes demeaning. People sometimes, they overlap. Sometimes you want to advise your children, but you advise them in a very demeaning manner. You advise your brother, but in a demeaning manner. Then when you advise your children in a demeaning manner, you advise sometimes, you talk to sometimes you admonish your parents, but in a demeaning manner. Therefore, advising, you can advise, not but without meaning any disrespect. Without meaning any disrespect. Therefore, talking to others is not easy. It is not easy to talk to another person without hurting the person. It is not easy to sit with a person for 10 minutes and talk to that person without causing any hurt. In fact, in 10 minutes we do hurt. एक आधा बार हो ही जाता है. एक आधा शब्द ऐसा बोल देते हैं, and we hurt, really. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Nindantaha tava samarthyam tato dukkha taram mukim, which what is more painful than your own talent being doubted. Clear? And therefore, now continuing, he just, he is trying to, prepare Arjuna for the war, because he has already lost interest, a person who has lost interest, again, to make him get up is not easy. Physically he is gone, emotionally he is gone, in spirit he is not at all interested. He says, let the whole kingdom be taken by them, I don't care, but I don't want to kill Bhishma, I don't want, it's kind of, you lose. You are morally totally broken. Now Krishna is trying to support him. It's like, a person, supposing your son says, the whole year he has been waiting for the exams. And he says, I am going to do very well in my exams. He has been working hard. And then when the exams come, he gets so, patani what happens emotionally, he says, I don't want to appear for the exam. He has been preparing for the exam for the whole year, and when at last when the exams come, he says, I don't want. Why? Bhagavan jane. He says, I don't want. So you have to simply bodily take him and then put him in his exams hall, and then even then, no. Ultimately he has to, the bhoot inside has to get out. There is a bhoot inside. The fear. Sometimes, exams can create fear. There is a fear. Like you have stage fear or fear of meeting a new person. There is always some fear. That fear is there. And one has to exorcise that bhoot. Take that bhoot out. In fact, Krishna is only exorcising that bhoot from Arjuna. That bhoot is what? Fear, attachment, confusion, so many things. All unnecessary emotions welling up at the same time is called bhoot. Bhoot. You fall in love with somebody. Your son falls in love with a girl, let us say. And he says, either that girl or no girl, quote unquote, is what is called Bhoot Savar. This is called Bhoot Savar. I mean, it doesn't say any logic. To talk to him any logic, it doesn't work. Either that girl or no girl, I'll just... This is called Bhoot Savar. But every Bhoot Savar, after some time, you'll go wait for some time, it's okay. Because Bhoots also don't like to live in the same dimag. They want to change his dimag. They should leave this dimag and go to another dimag. And therefore, Arjuna has this Bhoot Savar and he says, Krishna says, this is not the right time. Hato va prapsesi swargam. This is the last. He is whipping him. He says, Hato va, if you die, prapsesi swargam. If you are talking about the uncertainty about the outcome, let not the anxiety about the outcome come in the way of your duty. This is also very important in life. Outcome should not determine, outcome should not dictate terms. This is the right thing, I do it, whatever be the outcome. This is the right thing. I do it. Serving the parents is the right thing. I do it. Whatever be the outcome. Even if my parents give all their wealth to some charitable institution, doesn't matter. But I serve them. I serve them the right thing. I can't really plan my duty, keeping in view the outcome. Outcome jo bhi hota hai, koi baat nahi. What is right, even if the outcome may come, may not come. Therefore, everybody fights the war only for the victory, but everybody doesn't get. Like you see, in fact, that is what relaxes you. If the outcome doesn't obsess you, only value the fact that you need to do your duty well. If the outcome doesn't obsess you, but the quality of action obsesses you, you think more about the quality of action. You think less about the outcome because it's not in your hands anyway. You can perform much better. If the outcome obsesses one's mind, in fact, he is tensed up. An individual is tensed up if there is too much of anxiety about the outcome. And this is best understood. This particular phenomenon is best understood in our cricket team, Whenever you make somebody the captain, then he is only going through anxiety about the outcome. His performance comes to an end. You make a person, and suppose you want to destroy somebody's batting, make him the captain. I'm telling you. Yes. You know why? Because they are all the time thinking about outcome. Kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga. And the moment you take away the captaincy from him and give it to somebody, then again he is all right. Then again he is all right. Hota hai. Some people. And therefore, here Krishna is saying, let not your anxiety about the outcome come in the way of your duty. And let this be principle in your day-to-day life. This is the right thing to do, let me do it. What is the outcome? वो भी होगा. ये अच्छी काम है, let me do. ये अच्छी काम है. हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम, Bhagavan says. If you die in fighting the war, you will go to heaven. You will go to heaven. Do you know what it means? You will always have a good future because you have done your duty. It is not merely the one who dies fighting in the war that goes to heaven. Heaven is not meant all for the soldiers who die in the war front. No. Swargam means anyone who does his duty, his future is always good. Swargam, I'll define in Sanskrit. Swakhiya karmana phalam is called swargam. Swakiyena karmana gamyamanam swargam. Swa means apna karma. Gam mane reached. Meaning अपनी कर्म से ही जो प्राप्त होता है उसी का नाम स्वर्ग. The result of your good deed is heaven. Heaven is nothing but your creation, the result of a good deed. And do you know which is the best deed in life? Duty properly done is the best thing. You do your duty well. And duty too. In fact, you don't have to go to the slum alone to do your duty. This is another thing. Neglecting one duty and doing some other duty is not the right thing. First you do your duty, set your house in order. Because if the house is in order, wherever you go, you enjoy going out also, because the thought of going back home is so nice. If there is peace at home, then you enjoy traveling, understand? This is another precondition for travel. You enjoy traveling only when there is peace at home. If there is no peace at home, then you can't enjoy traveling, because even while traveling your anxiety, after the traveling, uske baad kya? Uske baad kahan jaun? After the trip to Switzerland, where will I go? That anxiety will always be there. And therefore, you can enjoy life, you can enjoy traveling, you can enjoy everything, all outdoor life you can enjoy when the indoor life is peaceful. If the indoor life is not peaceful, you cannot have outdoor life peaceful. It's not the other way. When your outdoor life is peaceful, then your indoor life is good. Aisa nahi. When your indoor life is peaceful, outdoor life is also peaceful. You have to be peaceful with your family. You have to have a peaceful family, mutually caring family, not neglecting family. Therefore, Hatova, anyway, I have given the meaning of the word Swargam. So what is heaven? Heaven is not something other than it is in your hands. Your heaven is in your hands. Your heaven is in your hands. What is it? When you do a good deed, you feel happy. That is heaven. What is heaven? I say if you go to Switzerland, you say, oh, it is a heaven. Supposing there is no mental happiness, is it a heaven? You go to Switzerland and suddenly you discover that your money bag is missing. Or your passport is missing. Your visa is missing. Or the boy or your friend is missing, or your husband is missing. Missing? Not missing. Missing with another girl. Then, can you be happy? You can't be happy. Therefore, external beauty doesn't make it a heaven. Heaven is not, heaven is never materialistic. You are mentally, when you are happy, that is heaven. In that sense only, Christ also said, the kingdom of heaven is within thee. The kingdom of heaven is within you. What does it mean? Happiness is within you. Therefore, there is nothing wrong. Therefore, heaven, not really something colorful is heaven. A beautiful house, you can't call it a heaven. Swamiji, what about Italian marbles? That is also not heaven. So you have beautiful house with Italian marbles, a lot of trees around, and really, many scores of servants and huge car. Does it make a heaven? It looks like a multinational company. That is all right. But does it look like a heaven? No. Say when you go there and live there and you feel nice, happy. When you are talking to your husband happily, that is heaven. When your children come and respectfully sit with you and talk to you, that is heaven. When you talk to the servants nicely, respectfully, nicely, so that you don't put in them a sense of insecurity, make them feel secure, that becomes heaven. Heaven we have to create, understand? We have to create heaven. And what can create heaven is our own good deeds. That is the meaning of Swarga. Swakiyena karmana gamyamanam swargam. The result of our own good deeds. It is always felt in the mind. That is heaven. Hatova prapsasi swargam. Meaning what? Even if you die fighting, you will definitely reach heaven. Means the result of your good deed will always bring you happiness in time. Jitva va bhokshase mahi. And if you win the war, you will enjoy the kingdom and also have the heaven here, that you have done your duty. Bhokshase mahim. You will enjoy the earth. All this kingdom will be yours. Tasmat uttishta. Therefore get up. Kaunteya, hey Arjuna. Yuddhaya, for doing the duty of fighting the war for dharma. That's the whole thing is a duty. This is the duty which happens to be fighting for dharma, yuddhaya. Krita nishchaya. You can underline this. This is very beautiful. Whenever you are vacillating, you will never do it. Karu, na karu, karu, na karu, karu, utu, na utu, utu, na utu. Having said, ultimately what do you decide? Na utu. Listen to this point. मैं ऑफिस जाऊं ना जाऊं, जाऊं ना जाऊं, जाऊं ना जाऊं. After half an hour ambiguity, he says, आज मैं नहीं जाता. As this you could have decided half an hour ago. Why did you waste half an hour deciding? I say you can spend time deciding, provided you are going to decide constructively. You don't have to take half an hour to decide. मैं आज स्नान करूं, ना करूं, करूं, ना करूं, करूं, ना करूं. And at the end, decide, ना करूं. For that, why do you have to spend so much of time? Ambiguity, vacillation is not good. Mental vacillation always leads to negative conclusions. A fence sitter always jumps on the wrong side of the wall. Understand? A fence sitter always jumps on the wrong side of the wall. He will never jump on the right side. Fence sitters. Very difficult. Therefore, here Krishna says, when it comes to the duty, let there be no vacillation in your mind. Krita nishchayaha, with a firm resolve. Krita means done. Nishchaya means resolve. Having made a firm resolve, you better get up and do your duty. What is this vacillation? What is this vacillation? But when it comes to bhojan, karu, na karu, karu, na karu. At the end, he makes the right decision, karu. But when it comes to the duty, he would say, duty, karu. Like go to office or not, go to office or not, go to office or not. Not good. Always fear vacillation. It is better that you fear vacillation. You better fear vacillation. You can take time thinking, all right. But where it is so clear that you have to do, why should you have two minds? Why should you be in two minds when you know clearly that you have to do it? As a Kshatriya, you have to fight for dharma. Why should a judge have two minds in being correct, in giving the right judgment? Therefore, Bhagavan says, Tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchaya. And now the next verse, Bhagavan is going to be a very beautiful verse. Everybody has this problem. I will do if it promises me sukha. I will do if it promises me gain. I will do if it promises me victory. If it promises me, if I am promised of victory, I'll do it. If I am promised of gain, I'll do it. If I am promised of comfort, I'll do it. People look upon sukham as an incentive, victory as an incentive for duty, and material gain as the incentive. Krishna says, when it comes to the duty, don't unnecessarily get obsessed about this. You should not look for incentives. Duties you should do, and the only incentive is, that is the way you can grow. Growth should be the incentive. Inner peace should be the incentive. Inner growth should be the incentive. Inner maturity should be the incentive. Not material goals should be the incentive. Not material comfort, not material gain, not material victory, but inner maturity and growth. The person's mental growth and maturity should be looked upon as an incentive for doing duty. This is going to be the verse, a very beautiful verse, one of the highlights of Bhagavad Gita. What is this verse? One of the highlights of Bhagavad Gita. The next verse that is coming, Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labha jaya jaya tato yuddhaya vijyasva naivam papam vapsyati. Don't be cranky when it comes to doing duty. Better get up and do it. Don't unnecessarily be cranky. If you have to get up early in the morning, get up. If you have to prepare your children to go to school, you have to just really, you have to get up and really do that. Do your duty. If you have to get up very early in the morning and then do something to go to office, you have to do it. Okay, we'll do this shloka in the next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya